Hello, fourth graders. Sorry if I've been calling you fifth graders lately, but I think I've got it down now. All right, so you've noticed this week we've been talking about the relationship between decimals and fractions. All of our work this week has been about that. Today our objective is to add decimal numbers, but the reason we have this inside this category is that we want to see how that relates to fractions also. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's say you have a problem like this. 3/10 plus 21/100. Okay, well, we've learned earlier in the year when we were face to face that we write these up and down. So we should write 3/10 plus 21/100. And to add them as fractions, we need to have a common denominator. So we have to find the least common denominator of 10 and 100. Turns out that it's 100. 21/100 is 21/100. And 10, to get to 100, we can multiply it by 10. Multiply that by 10, we got to multiply this by 10. And we get 30/100. And we add them up and we get 51/100. Now that is one way to do that, but you might find that an easier way to add these two numbers is to change them to decimals. So 3/10 you could write as 3/10, and 21/100 you could write as 21/100. Then you could just add these up. 1 plus nothing is 1, 3 plus 2 is 5, and we get 51/100. Of course, these two are the exact same thing, but this, for most people, is an easier way to get to it than having to add the fractions. So when you're talking about tenths and hundredths and thousandths, it's really a whole lot easier to add them as decimals. The key to adding decimals is to make sure your decimal points are lined up. So notice these 1, 2, 3 decimal points, I need to put in a nice straight line. And of course, if I line these up and these up and these up, it's going to be really easy. A lot of times there's an empty space here. I like to put a 0 just to make sure you get everything lined up perfectly. Okay. So today we're going to be adding decimals, and they're just going to be tenths and hundredths is all we're going to be adding in the decimals. And we need to know how to do that so that we can do problems like this in an easier way. All right. So let's try an example. Let's say you wanted to add 4/10 plus 14/100. The whole key to this, like I said before, is lining up the decimal points. So I'm going to put 0.4. And before I even write the 0.14, I'm going to put the decimal point right there. I might even start putting my answer here, make sure I have a nice straight line with all these decimal points. I'm going to put 0.14. Okay, like I said, I like to put a 0 in this empty space right here, just to make it easier. 0 plus 4, line it up as 4. That's 5, that's 0. That's really all you have to do today. They're going to do the up and down part for you in IXL, so you don't got to worry about lining it up. But sometimes they won't have it lined up perfectly, so you have to be careful with your answers. But I think you'll be okay. And good luck with this.